So these systematic methods that I've documented the last 2 years, 3 years actually, cops and criminals orchestrate together to get wealth and property to share amongst themselves. And then one way is to have it be disguised as a tenant dispute, tenant occupancy. And it's systematic because it's not that these policies are nationwide, most of them. The common policies that they have, you can't look at what she's done in the other previous addresses because it's jurisdiction. They don't have jurisdiction. So they perform it and they go to the next one. And there's common features, all of them. Most often it's a sex worker that has a boyfriend in jail. I've seen it so much, and then so you look at these cases, look at the evidence I have, and then you can find it. Look at all the addresses where there's 911 calls made daily or weekly over years, and then look at what happens. If it's in the past, look at see if there's been the landlord has been sued, to see if there's been change in ownership of that property, see if the landlord's been in jail, incarcerated, accused of anything, if they've been blackmailed. And then this is the thing. In this case, so in the previous, look at the previous addresses. So that first investigator said they're afraid to talk. So they're afraid to talk because they've been blackmailed. So you got to give them immunity. That her injuries on her leg, which are prominent, find the perpetrator on that injury and give him immunity, because then he'll be able to tell you what it is. He won't be scared to tell you. He's probably watching. Go to the addresses that she's stayed in the past. Find the ones that's been 911 calls repeatedly over months, and then find the one which that injury was caused. All of them, but particularly that one. Give all of them immunity. Give everybody involved immunity. Look at it carefully, and then give immunity strategically so they're not scared to come forward. And I have to have a journalist do this, because the people involved, laws and law enforcement, are involved in the cover-up. I know that, and I know all the methods they use for the cover-up. They prevent the reporting officer. So like at the dog park, I'm posting, they kicked me out of the dog park Facebook page, and then I posted it on the benches with those flyers, and all of the reasons they use to kick me out, they're all fallacies and they're all excuses. And then the dog park owners, I found out one reason underneath the excuses was the dog park owner doesn't want the city council finding out about that I'm reporting this, because they would cut funding. Now, I thought one way of getting this message through, I reported hate crime. When I report hate crime, the person I reported, and I have the recording, how difficult she makes reporting, with the robotic way, and then everything example I bring says, well, that's not what you're talking about in this report, that's something else. We have to limit in this one tiny pigeonhole, and the compartmentalization is a systematic method used everywhere, Kaiser, everywhere to block communication, you see? So the reason the person at when you report 211 hate, when you report hate crime, we want to get this message through, she said, well, the reason this doesn't qualify because you violated the dog park Facebook policy, which was that she had set the policy. You yourself said that she doesn't want the city council finding out, and then she's gonna find out if you post it. Do you understand how upside down that is? If there's corruption in the city, present in the police department part of the city, The city council shouldn't find out, because if they find out, through the dog park, they cut funding to it. And that's the reason she gave why I was kicked out of the dog park Facebook page, and it was prevented from, and I posted on the flyers on the thing, they say it's a violation of, it's a, defacing public property. Do you understand? Every fallacy of reason they've used to prevent the reporting of it, to prevent, all the violations of the restraining order, the denials of the restraining order, everything I've documented accurately and honestly. You look through it, you'll see it. It's all there. It's in the process of organizing it. Cops and law enforcement and criminals working together to get wealth and property and divide it amongst themselves. And it happens all over the place. So you got to know about it. And then they don't mind, because it happens to people, specifically people who have stigmatized, people who look like me, talk like me, people are different, maybe the elderly, the vulnerable, and maybe the foreigners, they don't speak English. I'm talking to other people who've gone through this. Go talk to Eric in front of the municipal building next to the West Valley Police Department. He's been there for years. And he shows that they told him go to the city attorney. City attorney tells him to get a third-party lawyer, because then they get it's a tax write-off. We'll pay you off to keep it quiet. We're not going to reveal the corruption in there. And then that cop at the West Valley says, we're transparent, box stops here. Go to the West Valley. I ain't telling you nothing. Go to the city attorney. And I just told you what that's about. The whole culture, runaround culture, go to somebody else. Everybody does it. I know nothing about it. Go to somebody else. Look into this. Lawyers, investigators, journalists, look into this. I'll tell you what to do. Get all the police body cam videos of their visits to my address and make them all public. I'm giving you consent. That shows it. Look at all the previous addresses. Give them the victims immunity so that they can talk. Right? Protect them so they can talk, because they've been blackmailed, they've been threatened. And then I'm always telling you, I'm not going after retaliation. Don't want to sue anybody. Maybe I shouldn't say that, because then, my only intention is for the truth to come out. And so people are scared for the truth to come out because they're afraid to be sued. They're afraid to be incriminated. Sometimes they're involved in it. The perpetrators themselves, I want to give immunity. Look at it and give them immunity so they can come forward and tell you what it is. And look, if the people who are blocking this, who are preventing it, look at them. Look at them. Look at what they're doing. Why? What are the excuses? What are the reasons they're given to blocking the communication of this? I'm Devonshire.